The Fisherman's House is the story. The heroes of the comic book are this time in Władysławowo, which is celebrating the 60th anniversary of receiving the city rights. A resident shows a tourist he knows around the fisherman's house, telling her about the history of this place and the history of the creation of Władysławowo. I welcome you, dear friend, to Władysławowo, which this year celebrates its 60th anniversary as a city. Although it appeared on maps several hundred years ago, it was only in 1963 that it received city rights.
Hello.
Are you ready for another travel in time?
Ready. Lead the way.
Fantastic. We will start our journey from the place we are standing in front of. That is the Fisherman's House. But before I show you around and tell you about its history, I will tell you about the history of Władysławowo. It was created actually by combining culturally and historically different parts. The oldest fishing village of Wielka Wieś, the agricultural villages of Poczernino and Cetniewo, the port settlement and the interwar summer resort of Hallerowo.
And where does the name Władysławowo come from?
Actually from the name of King Władysław IV, who, expecting an invasion by the Swedes, ordered the construction of the Władysławowo and Kazimierzowo fortresses in 1635. The first one near Chałupy and the second one near Kuźnica.
And have they survived to this day?
Yes, or at least a fragment of the Władysławowo fortress located near the forest in front of Chałupy. Let's hope we get to see it in the future. And now I will tell you about all the historical places. Imagine that it is the year 1920, the day after Poland's memorable wedding with the sea. General Józef Haller went to Wielka Wieś, where he made the first cruise on the Baltic Sea under the Polish flag. Accompanying him was Lieutenant Colonel Henryk Bagiński, delighted with the beauty of the landscape seen from the deck of the cutter Gwiazda Morza. Purchased 20 hectares of land near Wielka Wieś, which was named Hallerowo in honor of the commander. General Haller also had his own plot of land here, on which he built a wooden summer house, Hallerówka. Today it houses the General's Memorial Museum. Hallerowo quickly became a favorite summer resort for Poles. In 1926, the Association of Friends of Hallerowo was established, whose aim was to develop the estate. A railway station, roads, villas and guest houses, a chapel of St. Wojciech were built, and a recreational park was also established. The officers' settlement became an exclusive resort for high-ranking military personnel, the Warsaw elite, writers and artists.
And the Fisherman's House wasn't built with the development of the summer resort?
No, it happened later and was related to the fishing nature of this place. Poland needed a fishing port on the high seas. Thanks to constant petitions from local fishermen, work on the construction of the port in Wielka Wieś began in 1936, and the opening took place on May 3, 1938. The new port was named Władysławowo, in honor of King Władysław IV. Thanks to the port, fishing and processing industries developed here, and many people found employment. Hence, among other things, the need to build a hotel for fishermen arose.
And it was called the Fisherman's House?
You will be surprised. Initially, the Fisherman's House was named Popielówka, after the name of its originator, the Minister of Shipping Mieczysław Popiel. The construction of the Fisherman's House lasted from 1953 to 1957. Throughout these years, the building was built on a grand scale and with sumptuous interiors.
And I guess it was definitely visible from a distance.
Absolutely. It towered majestically over the city, and many jokingly compared it to the Palace of Culture and Science in Warsaw.
I don't see any similarity, but in my opinion, it has more features in common with London's Big Ben.
Maybe less than more, but let's get back to the function of the Fisherman's House. It had 150 hotel beds, a cafe and 2 dining rooms. In one of them, attention was drawn to the fountain at which dancing club and fives participants sat.
Fives? What is that?
Fives are actually dance evenings. This term was often used in the 60s and the 70s.
Oh, that's why I haven't heard of this name.
Dancing in the Fisherman's House was very popular and famous among the residents and vacationers who stayed here, who remember it fondly to this day. Many of them met their first love right here, and there are also relationships that have survived to this day.
How beautiful. Apart from hotel rooms, what else was located in the Fisherman's House?
There was also a winter garden here, where after many years discos were organized. Then the place was occupied by a branch of one of the banks. There was a cinema, and the auditorium hosted concerts, Christmas and carnival games for children. There was even a library that still exists today. Below the ground floor, there was a bar offering dine-in and take-away meals. There was a hairdressing saloon on the first floor, and in the tower, the top of which served as a navigation point, there was an elevator, the only one in the area at that time.
Wow, it must have been quite an attraction.
Absolutely, especially for the youngest. Since 1993, the Fisherman's House was completely changed, its character and functions. It was handed over by fishing and fishing services company Schooner for the purpose of serving as a seat of local government authorities. The ceremonial opening of the new residence took place on the 30th anniversary of Władysławowo as a city. Since then, the city hall has been located here. On the ground floor, there is a customer service office, the seat of the city guard and the social welfare center. There is still a library on the first floor, and city council sessions are held next to it in the former cinema hall. A large part of this level is occupied by a medical clinic with a separate entrance from the terrace. There are government offices on the next 2 floors, and the seniors club is located in the former winter garden. Even an elevator was installed in the building, just like in the tower.
Speaking of the tower, what's there today?
Offices, services, museums, and one of the biggest attractions of Władysławowo, an observation deck, located, believe it or not, over 40 meters above the ground, with a beautiful view of the sea, the bay, the city, and the Hel Peninsula. I will take you there soon. The tower itself is 63 meters high.
63 meters? I will remember it easily because, as you said, the city received city rights in 1963.
That's true. Now let's go to the tower. You will see this unusual view for yourself. Look how beautiful the building looks today. In recent years, it has undergone a major renovation work, from replacing doors and windows through thermal modernization. Waterproofing would improve its technical condition and also safety and energy efficiency. The new facade retained its original style. Renovation of terraces, stairs and balustrades made the image of the Fisherman's House even more aesthetic. This is complemented by the installed night illumination, which highlights the architecture of the building even more attractively. The new version of the Fisherman's House is the pride of the inhabitants of Władysławowo.
Oh, what's that?
This is our beautiful bugle call that sounds from the tower. It was reactivated on the occasion of the city's 60th anniversary, and in Morse code, it sounds nothing less than Voix, vovo, voa.
Fantastic. You always have something new for me.
I wonder what you will say when you see the panorama of the city.
Sounds terrific. Let's find out.
Okay, now, let's go.